Welcome back to another video. It's the one and only Pocket, and today we're going to be talking about a Hive moderator that is currently banned. Let's get right into it. First, if you guys can go stream my new song down below, it's called I Don't Want to Fit In. That would mean so much to me. It's going to be the first link in the description. Alright, now we're going to talk about the Hive staff member that got banned. So their name is Zeiturians, and they were a moderator for the server for a pretty good amount of time. And now I'm going to explain to you guys how they got banned, but first I'm going to go off with their statements and the Hive statement, and then I'm going to explain the story that I was given and that I looked into, of course. So check this out right here. Zai put this on his Discord. He said, "Hello everyone. It is with sad news to announce that I think I am done with the community. The Hive has been such a great place for me and I actually felt like I mattered. Unfortunately, due to my mental state, I just don't feel fit to be where I am anymore, on top of being asked to resign from the staff team. That said, I want everyone to go support Rai and her Twitch channel because she means the world to me and I want to see her succeed. If you haven't already, go join her Discord server and say hello. Go help her achieve her dreams. As for the server, I've been leaning towards deleting it. I don't want to, but I feel like I have to. I might just leave it dormant, but we'll see over the next few weeks. I still very much plan to come back to Twitch someday, but for now I need to focus on myself and getting into college and get myself out of this phase that I'm in, sadly. Thank you to everyone that supported me along the way. I greatly appreciate everything you have done to support me, and maybe I will see you for the return of Zai. With love and appreciation, Zeiturians." Now this is the statement Klinkstar made when people were asking about the ban. So he said, "As usual, we're not randomly banning people for no reason. We spent considerable time evaluating what happened and the evidence received, and the ban is completely justified to protect our community members. We are not law enforcement, and any real life enforcement is up to the relevant authorities, but we have our own duty to protect people online once we know these things occurred. We can't share any evidence due to privacy concerns. I wish we could to prevent these ever returning claims of invalid bans, but it would simply be illegal in many cases." So pretty much everybody in the community does know that, he's no longer staff, but they don't really know the reason why, and everyone saw that he got banned and they're like, what? And a lot of people are assuming that this is an invalid ban, but I'm with the Hive. I think this is justifiable once you see the evidence and you hear the story. So now this person that is best friends with Ryano, who was the victim in this situation, sent me this. So they said, "Zai has done some pretty nasty shit recently. If you know Zai, you know that he dated Rai, aka Ryano. Rai was overthinking and got upset, so she decided to unadd everyone one day to calm down instead of unleashing it on all her friends. Zai decided to take it too personal and decided to send death threats to Rai and say a lot of abusive things that should have not been said, whether he was upset or not. He sent many abusive messages to Rai. He even told me abusive things about her to me, which was not appropriate. Rai is my really good friend, so I can feel her pain. He banned me and Rai in his Discord server and on Twitch and started talking shit about Rai in user logs and mod chat. All his mods saw what he said and most of them left. I talked to him for a little bit, even though he was a bitch to everyone, and even he admitted that he said abusive things to Rai and even said he could be charged because of it. After all the pain and suffering he put me and Rai through, he wanted to make it up to us, and I told him I really didn't want to be his friend anymore after him being manipulative and guilt tripping to his friends. I also told him to work on himself and focus on his mental health, and then maybe I'd come back and be his friend, but he took it the wrong way and decided to tell me he was going to blow his head off with the gun and that I would be to blame. It's so fucking wrong for him to blame his own death on me. That put so much stress and pressure on me, and I did nothing wrong. He tried to guilt trip me and manipulate all his friends to a point where we didn't even see him as Zai. We saw him as some mentally insane person that we didn't even know, because this isn't the Zai we know. This isn't the innocent 18-year-old Zai in high school. Here are some screenshots of how his friends felt. Names will be covered as people didn't feel comfortable putting their name out. This really puts a lot of shit on people. All Zai did was make people feel so terrible and made it seem like it was their fault, when in reality it really wasn't, and he was trying to guilt trip people into things. There were so many mixed emotions coming from all his friends not knowing what to do. We would all sit for hours just DMing each other trying to figure out what to do. It was at a point where it felt like he wanted to brainwash people into thinking what he did wasn't wrong, and wanted everyone to be swept under the carpet and discarded. He got perma-banned on the 16th due to his inappropriate and harmful actions. He told his Discord server and everyone was confused on why this happened. Instead of coming clean about what he did, he silenced the truth as to why he got banned. He told people that he did nothing wrong, and people even started to believe it. People were even saying how Zai is such a sweet person and he never had any negative behavior. While he was telling people that he did nothing wrong, he DM'd his friends and kept asking multiple times who told the Hive staff and how he got banned. He really tried to make it seem like he did nothing wrong in his server, and then was like, who spilled the beans? Zai told everyone that he did nothing wrong, and because of that, people even started contacting Klinkstar on the forums asking why Zai got banned. So that is the explanation of why he got banned. Sorry it took a while, as I had to get screenshots and proof. Everything was still a mess and still is. So now I'm going to show you guys the screenshots. If you were reading that, you probably noticed there was like little parts that say like screenshots 1 to 5. So I'm going to break down the screenshots now, and then after this we're going to show Zeiturials' side of everything. So before I even put in my opinion on anything, I'm just going to show the story. Okay, now I'm going to show you guys the screenshots of what happened, and then I'm going to show you Zai's side of the story and then the victim's response. So before I put my opinion out there, I'm just going to show you guys the story. So right here is screenshots 1 to 5. So as you can see, he's just calling her a loser, texting her to cry herself to sleep. And then right here is the most messed up one. He goes, "I swear to fucking God, I would shove her through the wall and break her laptop over over her skull. And then, you know, right here, at the very bottom, he shares her address. Okay, and then we got screenshots 6 and 7 right here. So right here is just him deleting some log, or just some messages of him deleting stuff in the logs. Okay, now this is screenshot 8, and he goes, my dad told me I would be damn lucky if I don't get charged with assault on Ryan if they see those messages. Okay, now this is screenshot 10 to 15, and this is really concerning to a lot of people. So, you know, they go, give us time. If you fix yourself, then maybe we'll come back. He goes, you know what? I hope you get the blame for when I die. Gonna save you trouble of listening to the gunshot. And as you can see, he changed his Discord status to fatally shot with 12 gauge around 3 p.m. And then they continue talking, and he sends a picture of a shotgun and goes, I'll work on myself. Don't you worry. I'll let the autopsy team also work on me. Okay, now this is screenshot 16 and 19, and this is just a bunch of his friends, you know, discussing the situation and just, you know, getting their thoughts on it. So if you guys just want to pause the video and read this, you can, but I'm not going to show all of it. But basically, to sum it up, if you want to read it, a lot of them just felt unsafe. Okay, now we're going to show screenshot 20 to 22, and as you can see, you know, he's banned on the Hive, and it shows it right there. And on top of that, he got banned on MJ server as well at the very bottom right. Now this is screenshot 23 to 25 of him just talking about getting banned and just saying, you know, he didn't do anything to the community, and just saying that it pisses him off that he put all this time, money, and effort into this server and community, and this is how they repay him. Now this is screenshot 26 to 28, and as you can see, you know, he's just talking to people and just saying that you guys spilled the beans, and he's just really upset about that. And that's pretty much what happened from that side of the story, from the victim side of everything, and just them showing the proof and, you know, all the screenshots. All right, now we got zeiturial side of the story. So check this out right here, guys. So I ask him in DMs, and I go, would you be down to explain this through text? And he goes, no worries. I eventually want to screen share and prove what I'm saying. I'm not trying to cover anything up. I said some wrecked things, and I did some wrecked things to myself, including a false threat to want to kill someone. That happened, but this pedo shit, not true. Well, I'm going to start off from the beginning where all this stuff started and how I got here. I started typing this from my Discord, so I'm a copy/paste what I started writing. As you may or may not know, I dated Ryano for several months. We both loved each other very much, and Ryano was very dependent on the attention and affection from me. And there was nothing wrong with that. But unfortunately, over time, I just got really busy as school started up, and I was getting bored with her. One day, Ryan got pretty upset with me. She said she felt like she was tired of being ghosted and ignored by me, so I decided it would be the best if we broke up, for her to go find something to occupy her, so I broke up with her. Then he goes, I don't know how Ryan felt exactly after that, but I definitely know she cried for a short period of time. I really didn't care at first, but then a couple weeks went by and I started to realize that I loved her. I loved her and I fucked up leaving her badly. So one night I went to her DM and typed all this stuff out about how much I missed her, how I loved her, and how I regretted breaking up with her. Unfortunately, she had finally moved on, and she really wasn't really wanting to be in another relationship. So that threw me into this giant depression. This was my first relationship, so I didn't really know how to handle this new negative emotion that I was developing. I got really upset over it because I thought it was all my fault and that she was going to get hurt with someone. However, this is where shit started to hit the fan. I started developing an obsession over wanting to get back with Rye. It was not healthy. I started saying things to make her get back together with me, including wanting to jump off a bridge. She didn't want to get back together, obviously, and she didn't know how to deal with me, so she sent one of her friends to help me. This friend definitely seemed to care about me, and we had met before. After she did a lot of convincing over the next day or two to keep me from harming myself, finally I started to feel better. A few more days go by with some optimism and some depression, some highs, some lows, but eventually I started to like this other girl I was talking to at the time, and she was starting to like me as well. Some more time passes, and eventually we get to the point where we have matching skins. I put her in my bio, and I made this gif of us together. And while it wasn't so, it definitely looked like we were dating. So eventually Ryan stepped in and put a stop to it. She told me that this girl I was talking to was 14, and I am 18 in 2 months. Nothing inappropriate went on, but it's when Rye stepped in that I realized it wouldn't work out with her. I didn't like it, but eventually I knew if I kept being sweet to her, something would lead on. Something we've seen so many times in the community, so I started to make an effort to draw the line. However, at first this other girl was kind of attached to me. I have screenshots of her not wanting to let go when I tell her it was time to draw the line, and her wanting to kill herself if I just stopped. And I'll admit this, we did exchange I love yous, and I did still want to be friends with her, but never did I want anything serious with her, like a relationship, for obvious reasons. So some time goes by and I stay friends with her. Eventually after that, I kind of went back to that low point of obsessing over Ryan again. I would constantly be reminded of things me and her did together because of how similar this girl and Ryan were, and it would just bring me back to where I was originally. I don't exactly remember what happened in the middle here, other than having more periods where I would want to say harmful things about myself, but that brings me to where it gets significantly worse. I started talking to this girl a lot more without an intention of dating. I kind of realized that I needed help, but I was so bent on having someone to help me. A lot of my good friends were gone, who I won't won't name, mostly because they don't play Hive or left the community in some way, so I was socially distant from them. It felt like I didn't have anyone to really help me out of this loop I was stuck in, being depressed over this girl who I would never have a chance to have back. This girl was the only one I thought at the time who seemed to actually help me get over Ryano. After some more periods of time of wanting to commit self-harm and then wanting to get better, I got to this point. It was recent. So throughout talking to this girl, I had been still talking to Ryano and trying to maintain a friendship with her. One day she actually unadded everyone she was friends with, and I noticed and told that girl that the other girl acknowledged that and said it was something along the lines that she did it because she was in pain. For some reason, this just angered me. I ended up saying a lot of wreck shit, including a lot of insults, and as far as telling this other girl Ryano's address, what I had a long time ago from VC with Rye when we were dating, and I also said a lot of things along the lines of I'd crack her laptop over her skull and threw her through a fucking wall if I was ever near her because of the pain she put me through. Not exactly what I said. I'll be able to share exactly what I said with a screenshot. Yeah, that was pretty bad, but I would like to highlight here there were a couple instances during the conversation where it really seemed like that girl was getting behind that behavior as well. So that brings us to now. I made my efforts immediately to apologize the next day, as the next following days I realized what I had been doing to people for the last month and a half to 2 months. Before September of this year, most people were accepting of the fact that I was the nicest, kindest, and most outgoing individual in the Hive. I did so much for the community, including handling countless reports and answering so many questions. However, the moments after the breakup sent my spinning into a fiery crash that destroyed my personality. This person that I've been for a few months, this is not me. I've already taken steps recently to actually get help, especially after what I said about Ryano. That was not okay and I regret it. I fully accept that it was completely unacceptable and inexcusable to say such things, and while I will never be able to make it right, I want to address that I made several efforts to fix the situation to the best of my ability. So I believe all of the general gist of what happened. I am able to back up anything you want with screenshots of our DM and answer any questions. Would also like to add that I developed unhealthy habits of guilt tripping that girl too. I often made her feel bad, especially when I was wanting to harm myself and such, and that's also not okay and something I learned through my counseling recently. So that's Zai's side of the story, guys. Now I'm going to show you what happened with Rai. So I asked her, I said, hey, obviously I've heard about this situation. Can you confirm everything? And do you want anything else to say about what happened? She goes, yes, I can confirm that Zai did threaten me. I really don't care what's said anymore. I'm just living my life. So that's obviously good to see. So that is the story, guys. That is what happened. I know everybody was curious. I was having so many people messaging me and just asking me when this video is going to drop and what really happened behind everything. And that's it. And my final opinion and thoughts on this is, yeah, Zai is in the wrong with just about everything. I'm really happy that he's getting therapy and counseling and that he did admit to some of the wrongs that he did. But obviously it doesn't excuse a lot of the actions. Like, listen, if you're in an online relationship and you're willing to grab a laptop and smash it through someone's skull because they don't want to talk to you anymore, that's obviously psychotic. That's very, very bad. So I feel really terrible for Rai and all the other victims and friends and people that had to deal with this. Just know that you're very young and you could still, get over this, and you can use this as a learning experience. And I'm very sorry for how this happened. Like, just having to see that and having to deal with that, that's terrible and that's disgusting. And the worst part about this is that Zai is claiming that he's not a pedophile or whatever. But listen, if you are willing to message a 14-year-old girl and exchange I love yous, that is very, very bad. That's a red flag. And I don't care what anyone says. Like, listen, if you want to just be friends, if you're just talking, if you're not saying anything sexual, no one's going to say anything. Obviously, like, it's not against the law to just talk and have a conversation with someone who's younger. But like, if you're literally exchanging I love yous and just saying those emotions and those feelings, that's obviously really bad. And like, this whole story is just a mess. Like, it's just terrible. It's like, he needs help, and so Zai, just get the help you need, man. Just stay away from these people. Like, seriously, like, this is terrible. Like, apologizing, hitting them up, that's not gonna help. They just want some space. They need some time alone. So in my opinion, I think the best thing is just leave each other alone, accept the ban and just try to get some help out here. And then, for everyone else that was a part of this, like I said, it's just a learning experience. We're gonna have to grow through this. It's obviously disgusting. The Hive, shout out to the Hive. They handled this professionally. They handled this well. I hate whenever it's a bad look on the Hive and people are like, oh, they need to do background checks on who they hire. It's like, yo, how the hell are they supposed to know this is gonna happen? Like, listen, it doesn't matter, bro. If you have a company, if you have an organization, yes, you can do a background check or whatever, but you can't really know what they're going to do in the future. Like, they could be a great person, have no, bad background, but they do something like this, and then people are like, oh my god, the Hive is terrible. Like, no, don't blame the Hive. This is not the Hive's fault at all. But yeah, that is it for today's video. Thank you guys so much for watching it. Let me know your thoughts on this whole situation down below. This is very, 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 tough for me to make. Like, I just hate making videos like this because it's like, damn, like, it's a little too much. But yeah, guys, that's it. Thanks for watching. Hit the like button, subscribe if you're new, and like we always say, Empire out.